What is up, people? What is up? Let me bring the music down. Where is the music page? There it is. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another brand new episode. However, I think sadly it's gonna have to be the final episode forever. No, I'm joking. Final episode of the week. I'm thinking I'm gonna be busy tomorrow, so I won't be able to go live. But make sure you follow YouTube. Sorry, make sure you follow Twitter to stay tuned on that one. I'm gonna be a little busy tomorrow after hours, so no stream. But I'm gonna do my best this stream to cover all the things that possibly need to be covered for tomorrow, for today. Lots of earnings names tonight after hours, starting with some of the heavy hitters over here: Robinhood, Elf Beauty, Figma, IonQ, AppLovin. I'm gonna ignore Snap, it's not a heavy hitter, but Snapchat, ARM, Qualcomm, AMC, Dutch Bros, lots of good names over here in the after hours. Today pre-market you had Unity, which went up quite a bit, but then gave up most of those gains. AMD yesterday after hours flushing, but then reversing back to the upside. So the market just on an absolute mood swing over here in terms of earnings reactions, and there's honestly way too many names to keep on track on, way too many names to talk about. So let's not waste any time. Also, at the same time, we're gonna have to try and squeeze in some conversations about poly market, because there's some things I want to talk about on that side too. We made a couple more mistakes today. Looks like mistake central at the moment. November has just been starting with full of mistakes. At the end of October, we made back some of the losses that we incurred, or I incurred on poly market during the middle of October. So starting October, we were killing it, or I was killing it. Middle of October, I gave back a lot, and then end of October, I made it all back, and then now starting of October, I'm basically giving it all back again. It's just been a roller coaster ride, probably because I've been treating poly market with a little bit of disrespect, treating it like a casino, treating it like a broken slot machine, and sometimes it paid me as a broken slot machine, but right now it's, I'm going through the burning, the growing pains, the burning pleasures. The tuition fees are having to be paid at the moment. Let me quickly go check some orders over here. The tuition fees are having to be paid, but it's all good as long as we're not making the same mistake again. So thankfully, I haven't made the same mistake again. It's new mistakes, it's new lessons that we're learning, but at the same time, it's not that expensive of a lessons. It's good that we're making these lessons with the smaller account size that we have right now. Once we do grow to a bigger account size, those lessons are going to be a lot more expensive. So it's good that I'm doing it right now on a smaller account. So let's start off with some of the names after hours over here. One of the names is actually going to be very much important for me, because we have some positions on poly market for the mentions market, and that's going to be Robinhood. Along with Robinhood, I've mentioned a lot of names today after hours, so let me just quickly bring in the charts for us. Look at that move on AMD. Wow, we were beautiful move back up on AMD, closing green on the day, chat. Closing green. Let's see how Robinhood moved today. Robinhood looks like overall a flat reaction at the moment. Initial reaction was down, but then a pop right back up on the earnings over here for Robinhood. ARM, nice move to the upside, but even that got stuffed back down, sadly. This is the trend that we're seeing at the moment. What you don't want to see is ARM going right back to the downside, much like how Palantir did. So we'll see if it sets up that way. Beautiful move on AMD today, though. I just can't I can't move on past that one. Monster recovery. Here's IonQ. Surprisingly enough, IonQ has made a move up pulled back, but then sustained the pullback. Buyers came right back in, and now trying to push back into that $59-$60 area for IonQ in the after hours. Lots of earnings to actually read, so I'm just quickly going to go through some of the charts at the moment for us and see which charts are actually worth reading into, because that will give us an idea if the trade is juicy or not. Qualcomm seems to have given up all of its gains today. Monster moved back up on Qualcomm over here, but giving all of those gains back on that earnings report. Pretty sad to see that one happening. We already saw ARM. Dutch Bros not as important, but whoa, pretty volatile as well. All the way down to 52, all the way back up to 58. Dutch Bros going back and forth. Pretty crazy over there. Elf Beauty apparently crashing down. Look at that one. Elf Beauty, this is your makeup company most of the time. You can also expect Ulta Beauty to go down along with it. Yeah, look at Ulta Beauty crashing to the south side a little bit. I guess I shouldn't say crashing. Pushing to the south side for the stock over here, along with Elf Beauty sympathy trade. So monster moves happening across the board. Earnings, ladies and gentlemen. We love seeing how stocks react to earnings. For example, here's Unity. Nice, good to see Unity recover as well. I just saw the opening drive, and then I figured that Unity actually stayed in the lower end and the ranges. Unity pushed back to 40 bucks. That's not bad at all. We love seeing that. Elves aren't beautiful, says TH. I can't do this with you right now, TH. Waste time, us. You're the one with the 5-minute opener. Alright, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Fair enough. Unity looking beautiful at the moment with that recovery back to the upside. I want to go check Novo Nordisk. How is the Ozempic maker doing at the moment? Looks like they also had a very similar recovery to Unity, but not in the same sense, because they initially pushed down and then pushed up. In terms of Unity, it went up, pulled back, and then recovered. So Unity looking much better than Novo Nordisk. Not even in the same field of business anyways, so nothing to compare to over there. I also want to quickly go check out how ALAB and ANET did. Looks like ALAB just dropped and did nothing. ANET closing at the lows. That's not a good sign, but still above some of the moving averages, which should be fine. SMCI yesterday dropped pretty hard in the after hours, and looks like that got extended a little bit more to the south side. Good to see SMCI participating in the sell side activity. Always love shorting SMCI. UPST, that one bounced a little bit. If I remember correctly, UPST, oh yeah, no, this one got smoked. Axon got smoked too. How did Axon do? Axon managed to find a bottom right at the after hour lows. Very interesting. We've seen this setup a lot, where the stock does bottom out at the after hour low, and that gave you a monster long to capitalize on. Wow, imagine capturing something like that from pre-market 545 to 657 on Axon. This was a name that I was putting on your radar yesterday after hours, and here we are. Monster recovery so far. I didn't read the earnings report though, so I can't tell you if that recovery is gonna get sold back down or not. Pinterest, looks like Pinterest got blown out. Big drop yesterday, and then extension to that move, getting below the after hour lows, showing you that weakness was pretty prominent. Sellers, I'm pretty sure this was more than a 10% drop. So sellers who were coming in to sell today were most likely longs and not short sellers. So because of the mechanic known as short sale restriction, it's going to be harder for short sellers to short unless the stock makes a tick higher and goes higher, even by like a couple pennies. If it just goes up, you can get filled on the offer. Can't get filled on the bid by taking out the liquidity. So natural selling is meaning that longs are selling their position on Pinterest, and that was a pretty big move to the downside. And in fact, Polymarket had predicted this one pretty pretty high accuracy. Polymarket predicted that Pinterest would miss their earnings report. That is basically a quick little rundown of the earnings from this week. There are other stocks also: Uber, Shopify, Spotify. There's just so many to talk at the moment, but we're gonna quickly dive into the main name on board over there using our good friends Benzinga. So shout out to Benzinga for sponsoring the earnings report segment. Nice little bounce back so far, still above 140. We'll see if the report on Robinhood gives us a better picture, a better clue as to what's exactly going on the market today. Or not on the market, on the stock today. Robinhood reported quarterly 61 cents per share versus 48 cents per share estimates, which is a 27% increase. This is a 248% increase from same period last year. 27% beat. This is a 258% increase from same period last year, which was the earnings of 17 cents per share. Nice little beat over there. The company reported quarterly sales of 1.274 billion, which beat the analyst consensus estimates of 1.192 billion. So a little bit of a beat, almost a 7% beat, which happens to be, however, a 100% increase from same period last year of $637 million. So growing by 100% on Robinhood is actually a very good metric over there. At the same time, you also want to see trading volume. You can't see my hands. You want to see trading volume. You want to see daily active users. They also gonna have a conference call very soon, for which we have some positions down on Polymarket. So in that conference call, are they gonna talk about the social media app that they were talking not too long ago? And maybe I could bring this camera down a little bit. That way I don't have to put my hand all the way up to my face. They're gonna hopefully talk about the social media app in there. You kind of want to see them talk about that social media app, because that was a little hyped up product that they had showcasing. So all these metrics will be very important to see exactly how is Robinhood growing. I mean, some of those metrics will actually be in the report itself. You don't have to wait for the conference call. So go check out those numbers, and they'll give you a better picture as to how people are potentially going away from Coinbase into Robinhood, how people are potentially going away from all these other brokerages, like legacy brokerages, as I call them, the trade, not trade desk, what is it? TD Ameritrade. What is it called now? Who are they? The Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade. So TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, the legacy brokers, you're seeing them being replaced by some of these competitors, Robinhood, Webull, and so on. So shout out to Robinhood over there, taking a little bit more market share. They're also competing with the crypto side. They're looking to get into the prediction market side. They are getting into the verification. Verified trader social media app that they want to create. So they want to get into that. Also, they want to get into tokenization of the market and tokenization of the private funds and the private equity. So there's a lot that Robinhood wants to get into. So it's just more bullish in my opinion, and they've done a pretty damn good job so far. However, I've never actually used Robinhood, so I can't tell you how good of a job they've done. It's just from third party people talking about it, my cousins in America who've used it, Google reviews, Reddit reviews, and obviously the market is the stock market is a very good indication of how much Robinhood is loved. So shout out to Robinhood on beating on all sides over there, and growing by 100% is actually a very good metric. So I'm not sure why the market originally dumped the stock that drastically. I'm expecting the stock to push back into 150s, 155s over the next few weeks, and we'll see how it plays out. Before I say that though, let's quickly go check out what Finviz is saying for Robinhood's PE ratio, because that could maybe give us an idea if it's a little overextended or not. 72 PE is in the red, so not really a good thing. Even the forward PE, which is at 66, in the red, so not really a good thing. but it's not as high as we've seen some of the other companies been before, right? We've seen Carvana be in the 30,000 PE, which is also now in the 70 PE. We've seen Palantir be in the 1,000, 2,000 PE, which is now at 400 PE, right? So it's 70 is not ridiculous given the current market conditions. People are, throwing out the word bear market, especially people like Jim Cramer. So when Jim Cramer is saying something like, market going into bear territories, then maybe market's not actually going into bear territories, and you guys are not bullish enough. You got to get even more bullish, because market's about to blast off if Jim Cramer's saying things like that. So just be ready. Don't let a PE ratio like that stop you from being bullish on a stock that is, what's the market cap? It's a $126 billion market cap company, and they're growing with 100% revenue year over year. Like that's amazing. What more do you want at that point? So shout out to Robinhood over here, and hence the thumbnail today is Robinhood. Their conference call should be going on right now, for which we have some positions down. I'm also market making and collecting some rewards, learning how that works, but looks like my rewards are diminishing, or at least the percentage of rewards that I'm collecting are diminishing per second, sadly. Let's show you guys over here. So what are rewards on Polymarket? Rewards are basically, they incentivize you to do some things like providing liquidity, or parking your money, which is also another form of providing liquidity in certain markets. One of the markets over here is a competition that's happening today after 6 o'clock today. I guess it's like 6 p.m. Eastern, which is an Ethereum trading competition where some of the online traders that trade cryptocurrencies and are prominent in the cryptocurrency Twitter space, the crypto Twitter CT, as I think they call it, they are having a competition over here, and what do you call them? Polymarket is offering rewards. They're giving you $100 USD, a portion of the $100 USD for providing liquidity. So if you provide enough liquidity with enough size on the bid and the ask, and right now I was sitting at 6%. Earlier in the day I was at 40%. Now I'm at 3%. So the amount of liquidity that I'm providing is going lower and lower because my account size is not that big. You can see how a lot more people are coming in with way more size than I originally threw down. So they're gonna start taking some of that bigger chunk of the portion. But this is basically almost a risk-free way, and I'm saying almost because there's a lesson to be learned here. Almost a risk-free way to make money for no reason. You're just providing liquidity. You're sitting on the bid. Notice how I'm not even on the best bid. I'm on the 3 bids below it, and I'm on the best offer and the other offers also at the same time, because I don't want to get filled. I just want to provide liquidity and collect that free reward over here that I can. And so far, I've made about $2 on just by this market, and about 30 cents off of another market, and some other markets I've tried to scalp here and there off of those two. Now, the problem ended up being I got distracted for a little bit, and I ended up actually getting filled for a lot of size for exactly 56 shares at 14 cents. So if you're not paying attention, things like that could happen where you end up getting stuck into a trade, and now you can see how this trade is at a much lower price, now trading at 7 cents and 8 cents. And sadly, I'm stuck into this position. I might actually lose some money on this trade over here too, and that's distracted, got me into trouble. I was distracted, got me into trouble. I was watching some YouTube videos, and next thing you know, boom, 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 all these orders filled, And yeah, not so happy about that. So that's why you're seeing the balance go down. Along with that, we also took some losing mentioned market trades. There was a Trump mentioned market today, and we took some losses on that Trump mentioned market. So sadly, two hits over here, two hits on the earnings market over here, because I tried to let's just say how it is. I tried to gamble saying that Lyft doesn't beat their earnings report or EPS, and that AMC doesn't beat their EPS, and they both ended up beating their EPS. So I lost that one. I didn't trade it. I tried to gamble by predicting, which is, I guess, the point of the platform. You're trying to predict, but for me, that's not the point. The point is not to predict. The point is to have a robust strategy that you can execute again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and make it and make sure that the strategy is scalable. Right now, sadly, scalability is a very big question just because of how poly market is. There's not a lot of liquidity out there in some of these markets, so scalability will always be a question. But when people are out there making thousands of dollars, your $100, your $5, your $10, I'm talking about yours meaning mine, shouldn't really matter when it comes to scalability. So it really should be coming down to having a setup, having a plan, and executing on that, and not doing stupid stuff, not gambling out there, not blowing your money on sports gambling like I usually do. So just be careful when you do get into poly market, because this can get very close to drawing a thin line between trading and just straight up going to a casino. You can very easily blur the lines and start stepping over that little line over there. So you got to be very careful with what you're doing, and making some mistakes today costed me. Reward farming was trying to do that at my best ability. That costed me. So the do's and the do nots. First, do not do. Oh, it looks like the rewards are dropping. Oh no, those are different. Do not try to farm reward on something that you have no clue about, because you will get burnt like I did just now today. Do not farm on the side that you don't want to get filled on. What the mistake I did was had orders on both sides, on the best bid and the best offer, but realized that, hey, I don't really want to get filled on one of these sides. But on the other side, if I do get filled, it's not that bad of a trade. So realizing that, changed my orders, changed the way that I layer the orders. It's called layering. Changed the way I layered the orders, and think of it as tuition fees. Out of the $7 that I basically might lose out of in this market, it might just be I'll probably make that back in rewards over the next few days, next few weeks. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, Prad, you're working so hard just to make $7 that you can't even afford a Big Mac or a McDonald's. Keep in mind, we're learning how to do these things. We're learning how to actually properly provide liquidity and farm rewards, at the same time have an executable strategy, basically market making. Like, learn how to market make, and then once you do that, you can transfer this over to sports books, you can transfer this over to the crypto books, over to the finance books, and so on, and just carry that skill set through poly market. Even carry that skill set directly into the stock market, right? So shout out to the lessons that I learned today, and hopefully you guys learned some lessons through these. Make sure that you know what markets you're trading, when the markets are ending. For example, if this market wasn't ending today, like if the contest wasn't today, these lines probably wouldn't move as hard as they did. Someone wanted to come in and say Billy Walsh is not going to win the competition, so they ended up buying the no. Let me switch it. They ended up buying no hard for Billy Walsh, and that's why I ended up getting filled, because I was buying yes. If you're trying to buy yes, you're basically selling no. It's the vice versa liquidity, kind of how poly market works. So someone really wanted to buy the no side, and they ended up basically giving me shares on the yes side, where I did not want shares on the yes side at all. In fact, I did not want shares at all. I just wanted to farm liquidity by providing farm rewards by providing liquidity. And looks like some size has been taken away either from the bid or the ask right now, and you can see how the percentage that I'm offering to the market now went from 3.5 to maybe 4.8% here. Earlier on the day, I promise you, I was at like 30% liquidity on this market. So people are getting savvy. They're seeing that this market is offering a large amount of USDC for a very, very little size that you're gonna have to put on the market. So basically showing you that some big players can come in. Also knowing that this market's probably closing in the next few hours means more participants are going to come into the market, and the lines are going to get sharper, the books are going to get sharper. You're just going to get much more competitive of a book. So every day you come in, you check what's offering rewards, what market can you let me turn off this filter. What market can you participate in within your portfolio size? So I can participate in some of these nuclear markets over here, 20 shares minimum. They're giving decent rewards of $60, and it's not as competitive, medium competitiveness. This one's low competitiveness. So maybe I could come in and fill some liquidity, offer some liquidity, and try to catch some easy rewards. Probably get more rewards over here than the market that I'm currently trying to farm on. So the more I do this, the more I will learn about it, and then the more I will basically teach you guys how it's working, how I'm paying the tuition fees for you and everybody, and for me. So yeah, learn from my mistakes. Don't learn from your own mistakes. I mean, learn from your own mistakes, but you don't have to repeat the mistakes that I'm making to learn the same thing, right? Hopefully not. Let's go to the market back again. Well, we already did the hood report. Looks like hood wants to struggle around 140. Really struggle around 140. I want to go check out Figma. Figma did make that reversal. Nice job, Figma. Good little reversal happening over there on Figma at the moment. Hi, Prad. Interesting content. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's go back to... there it is. Let's go back to the watch list over here for earnings. We got two quantum names on the board. One IonQ today after hours, which is obviously going up at the moment. Another one is QBTS. Let's go check out some IonQ over here. IonQ pushing back into 58.59. Still below the 200-day moving average, if I remember correctly. IonQ, sorry, above the 200-day. I meant below the 9 and the 20. The 20 is about to cross the 50-day. The 9 crossed the 50-day, and basically after the earnings report, we popped back into this 59.58, which is where the 9-day is, and then we're trying to struggle, or not trying to. We are struggling around there. So it'll be interesting to see how IonQ sets up for tomorrow. The quantum sector has been, a little bit, not a little bit, very interesting. So for sure on the watch, QBTS, QUBT. QBTS is the one that reports tomorrow. D-Wave. So keep an eye out for this one too. D-Wave pre-market. IonQ reported today after hours, and looks like market liked that report, surprisingly enough. I'm pretty surprised market liked that report. Still, as a trader, it is up to you to push yourself out of the comfort zone in small steps to become used to larger, more profitable positions. 100%. I mean, you can't be playing in the little boy playground all day, right? You got to learn to man up and take more size, get out of your comfort zone. I mean, I'm learning still a lot of things over here. Oh, look at that. Now my liquidity that I'm providing is now 9%. So I should be able to farm a little bit more money over there, thankfully. And in the meantime, we're going to be able to talk about the market. Actually, we're going to have to probably head over to earnings call. Earnings call time from Robinhood. All right, it's live. 6
including
minutes in.
regulatory developments that we continue to monitor, are described in the press release we issued today, the earnings presentation, and our SEC filings, all of which can be found at investors.robinhood.com. Today's discussion will also include non-GAAP financial measures. Reconciliations to the GAAP measures we consider most directly comparable can be found in the earnings presentation. With that, please welcome Vlad and Jason.
Vladimir. Is this on YouTube?
Good to see you. Good to see everyone. It's great to be here with all of you today. We have a live audience again, this time from downtown San Francisco.
They're like they're doing a live
I think for the
call
first time in our earnings call, have institutional and retail shareholders, so buy side joining us. So welcome and thank you. Also,
my computer about to blow up or what?
So good to see a lot of familiar faces here. Q3 was another quarter of relentless product velocity. So we were excited to see that.
Okay, so the words that I have, I thought I had a lot more than that. I only have 2 words.
Number one,
I should have social.
Next generation. Number 1, global financial ecosystem. So I'll briefly go.
I don't have social.
Active traders. We want active traders to feel like they are at a disadvantage.
I thought I had social.
Anywhere other than Robinhood.
I don't have social. Okay, so I have marketing at 57 cents. And I have no shutdown at 64 cents.
Vegas just a couple weeks ago.
Come on,
we
man.
announced a bunch of brokerage updates. Shorting multiple brokerage accounts. AI-driven custom indicators powered by Robinhood Cortex. A whole new social platform, Robinhood Social. And
talked about social. There you go. He said social. You guys see how that word got bought up right away. I said they're going to say social. You could have bought this for pretty cheap. Well, not cheap. It was selling for 99, but you could have bid it for 60 cents. I'm not sure you would have got the fill.
And October looks even better. For both equities and options, in the month of October, we had new single-day all-time and new monthly records.
It seems like he said prediction markets already. There's no sellers.
Strongly. Prediction markets.
Oh, there you go.
Really on fire.
There you go. My conference call might be a little bit behind because I'm seeing these markets move before he says the word. So my conference call is behind over here, which we knew that was gonna happen. You know, Perplexity Finance is not the direct conference call access, so you're not gonna be the fastest to the conference call. And if you want to trade these live, guys, you want to be on the fastest access to the calls, the fastest access to the meetings, the Trump calls or whatever it is, right? You want to have as low latency as you can if you want to trade these live. If you don't have the fastest and low latency methods, do not trade this live because you are... I guess you can trade this live if you're buying or bonding on words that you know 100% were said, like prediction markets, but you're not going to be able to. Bots are going to come in and take those words quicker than you. But if you do have a chance to, that's an opportunity over there. But here's where I come into play, where I do some research based on previous transcripts, previous calls, see what words were said, and come up with a fair value for these words, if they're going to be said or not going to be said, and then place an educated bet based on that. So expecting him to say marketing, obviously I could have bought social or trading volume or prediction market at 98 cents yesterday had I wanted to, but I really don't want to put that much risk to make like 30 cents or $1 based on my account. This is where my juicy trades are, and that's where, you know, I've mostly made profits from on mentioned markets, so I want to stick to that. But eventually, when the account grows, you know, putting in 100,000 on what seems to be a surely guaranteed bet to make 2% of 100,000 in 30 seconds doesn't sound that bad, does it?
customer
at the same
rollout
time,
quite
you know,
recently.
maybe you don't put
So
it
far,
on
we
a
like what we're seeing there, too.
on a
Customers are direct
pre-market,
depositing.
which
You
is
might have seen
before the
some nice
call. Maybe you
screenshots of
wait
the user
for the market to
experience
go
with the
live and
onboarding
you
flow,
trade it live,
and
and you can use
people really
bots for
love
this.
that
You can
they're
code
getting
one. You
interest,
can
not
have
just on their
one
savings, but
probably
they have an
buy
opportunity
one.
to
There's probably
earn
enough
a
being
good
made
interest
at the
on
moment,
checking. So it's really
and
about simplifying things for
you know,
customers.
have that punch into
And
position
the
for
plan
you
is to just
depending
keep
on what
scaling
words are
this,
being
keep adding
said.
more
That could
services, more
potentially also
products.
be a method for
And
you
last
to
but not
trade these,
least,
right? Which I've
we've been
seen
really
people do that
grinding to
already. I'm
build
seeing
out the
some
number
bots
one
out there
global financial
called
ecosystem.
Snipe.
So
They
10
come in
years
and
from now,
snipe the
aim
markets
is
away
to
from
have
you.
over half of our revenue be outside the U.S. And also cut another way. Right now,
Oh, he
we're
said
majority
outside of the
retail.
U.S.
We think
instead
we
of
can
saying
get to over half
international.
being non-retail,
Is
institutional.
that?
And these are tough goals, but I think the opportunity is there, and we're going after it. 3 areas of progress to highlight from Q3. Tokenization.
He said
which are
EU.
stock
Oh,
tokens in the EU. We're
tokenization.
now up to 400
So now you're gonna
plus
see
public
that word
companies
go
and
push to
growing.
99.
There's a
Boom.
lot of
Just look at
innovation to
that.
be done.
I'll
We're
show
working
you.
hard.
Let's look at this.
Robinhood Ventures in
International
the
selling at
US.
90
So we
cents for
found a way
yes,
to give
and it's selling at
exposure
20 cents.
to non-accredited
Not
retail
much
to
liquidity.
private
5
companies,
shares.
which
Let's
we
say
think is super
55
important and
cents
a
for
huge
30 shares,
opportunity for
right?
us. We've already made
So
some
you can
initial
buy
investments.
international
We're
no
working towards the public
if you are
offering for
interested,
Robinhood Ventures
or
in the coming
yes
months.
if you're interested.
Bitstamp around the
Right now
world,
it seems
our
like
first
the way
scaled
he's
institutional
saying
business.
these words,
We're very
he
excited
doesn't
about
want to
that.
say international. He wants to
We
go country
are
by country
continuing to grow.
specifically,
We're
like
adding
US,
capabilities.
UK,
We're adding
outside
more
of US,
institutional
EU,
customers.
Europe, and so on.
Volumes are up 60
So
plus
I
percent
think
quarter
international might
over
not be
quarter
said,
for
but maybe
Bitstamp.
it's not going to be
And
said
it's
through
great to
Vlad.
see
Maybe it
that
might be
we're
said by somebody else who's
accelerating
not
even as we're
Vlad. So
integrating.
you're gonna have to think
And I
about
think
that
that's
too,
like
right? You're gonna have
not a
to
common thing.
consider that as a
It's a
factor.
big business. I think the team's done a really nice job
Oh.
kind of integrating and making sure
Almost
that
got filled. I had to
product
make sure that I
velocity
don't get filled
just
there.
continues to increase. And as a result of all this, great business results in Q3. Revenues up over 100% year over year to a record of nearly 1.3 billion. Record net deposits in the quarter, over 20 billion. We've already exceeded last year's record of 50 billion in net deposits, and we still have another entire quarter to go. So we feel really good about the
Holy
traction
shit,
there.
my computer is
Gold
fucking dying,
subscribers
chat.
up to a record 3.9 million.
It's because
And
I have
that's
so many tabs
14+%
open. I'm gonna
adoption
close
when
this
you look at the
Polymarket
overall net
tab. Let me
account
just close some
base.
tabs here. I'm gonna
And
close
it's nearly
this one.
40% for customers that joined in quarter, our new customers.
This chat is
International
nobody
customers,
talking.
nearly
Nobody
700,000
talking. Let me close
international funded,
those.
including Bitstamp. So the UK and EU are continuing to grow nicely. And we feel great about Q3
yeah, I'm gonna
product
close this
velocity and
tab
results.
completely.
And it was a strong quarter, and I'll turn it over to Jason to go through
there you go.
financials before we get into Q&A.
Almost
good.
time for Q&A,
Thanks, Vlad.
and they
In
still haven't said
Q3,
international.
We delivered another quarter of strong profitable growth. Revenue doubled.
Oh wait,
while
did they?
margins expanded.
Oh, they
and
did.
earnings per share
Oh
more than
no.
tripled from last year.
He just said
Year-to-date
international.
For Q3, revenues are up 65%. Earnings per share is up 150%, and we continue to stay disciplined on expenses.
Damn, I
deliver
wanted to trade
75%
international. He just said
incremental adjusted
international. You
EBITDA
guys saw
margins.
that. Maybe
And
we can
it's
go
exciting
here
that as our
and pull
business
up the
grows,
mentioned
we're
market.
continuing to
That way
diversify.
we're not taking up
In
as much
Q3, two
resources
more
instead of having to
businesses,
open up the
prediction
same thing
markets
10
and
times.
Bitstamp,
So there you
each
go.
surpassed 100 million
Where
in
was that
annualized
word?
revenue,
International should
bringing
now
us
have
to
no sellers.
11 in
90
total,
the 90
and
sellers are gone.
underscoring the growing
Right? No more
diversification
90
and strength
sellers.
of our business.
Now the best bid's 99.
Prediction markets reached that milestone
Prediction
in
market.
less than a year. It's our fastest.
Well, he said that
in history.
already.
And it's already
I need
tracking
marketing
towards
to be
a
said
$300 million
bad.
run rate based on October volumes. So just really going
Boeing.
fast.
Boeing's moving, says
Now,
John.
let's take a
Robin
closer look
Hood.
at our Q3
Yeah.
results.
You know,
compared to a
stocks
year
are
ago.
always moving.
Revenues doubled to
Stonks.
an all-time high of nearly 1.3 billion as our customers remained engaged and continue to bring more of their assets to the platform. Trading volumes were up double to triple digits across equities, options, and
Boom.
crypto.
You just
And
saw
we
that.
Continue to grow market share.
You saw
across
how the
product
seller got
categories.
taken away right after
We're
right
also
as I
seeing
opened
strong
that.
contributions from newer products like prediction markets, index options, and futures. Interest earning assets were up over 50%, driven by strong margin and cash sweep growth. It's great to see margin continuing to hit new highs as we win larger customers and gain market share. And securities lending also hit an all-time high with a strong market backdrop as IPO activity continued to pick up. And Robinhood Gold grew to 3.9 million subscribers. That's over 75%.
I just need them to not say shut
year-over-year
down
growth as we continue
and
to broaden the value
say
proposition,
marketing.
including Robinhood Banking, which is just
And we'll have a little bit of a better day than what we've had so far.
Adjusted OpEx
But if they don't
and
say
share-based
that,
compensation
we're gonna
came in at
have a little bit of a
$613
worse
million.
day than we've been
It's about
having so
40
far.
million above the midpoint of our prior outlook range. This
Yikes.
was driven by two items that are both related to our strong performance. First,
Looking at
stronger
my
year-to-date results led to higher
here.
Q3 employee bonus accrual.
That hair needs to be
That
trimmed.
is higher for Q3, but also includes a catch-up for the first half of the year. And second, the significant increase in our stock price
Anyways.
this year triggered vesting on the remaining tranche.
Word is in
of
the house. Big ups to
2019
Canadian
CEO
leadership for them. What are you talking about?
market-based award.
Shopify? Yeah,
This resulted
Shopify,
in
brother.
unplanned payroll tax expense in G&A. We are through that award now, so glad you get to go back to your $40,000 a year.
Apologies.
Yeah. Looking ahead to the rest of the year, we're tracking toward full year 2025.
Pretty sure
adjusted
this is like on a
OpEx plus
YouTube
SBC
channel
of around
right now.
2.28 billion.
Let me try to find it.
But it
Hold
could be
up.
higher or lower depending on how the rest of the year plays out. This reflects our strong year-to-date business results,
Yeah,
which
it
had
is.
us tracking to the top end of our
Wait,
prior
no, it's
outlook
not.
range. As
Wait,
well
no,
as
it
some
is.
increased investment in new growth areas like prediction markets and Robinhood Ventures. I think each of these areas have significant potential for us. And lastly, this also incorporates the cost of Vlad's market-based award, which were not previously included in our outlook. I'll also provide a quick update on the strong results we're seeing so far in Q4, as you may have seen in the release. October was a strong month across the business. We saw continued momentum in net deposits, new records set across equities, options, prediction markets, and margin, and a nice step up in crypto volumes.
Oh no, we didn't need to shut that off. We needed that still.
I'm incredibly happy and proud to share that Shiv Verma will be stepping into the role of CFO. I've worked closely with Shiv these past 7 years, and I've got absolutely complete confidence in him. You're going to find that he's seriously world-class.
Where is the
At this time,
goddamn
I'd like to
caption?
invite Shiv Verma to join us up
There
here.
you go. There we go. That guy looks like the CEO of WonderFi.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank Jason for all he's done for Robinhood. He's been an incredible steward of the company, not just the finance team, but the entire company, and is leaving the finance team in a much stronger position than when he joined. Among his many assets, and you guys are obviously familiar with some of
Holy.
them, I would be remiss to not mention that his good looks were a main reason why we wanted to do these earnings on video, which everyone can agree. So I'm sure he'll be missed by this audience as well. I also want to
That text is
congratulate Shiv.
glitching
He's been
out.
working
Google,
closely with
figure
me
it
for some
out.
time now. You guys will increasingly see he's an exceptional operator. He's got a strong track record of not just being lean and disciplined, but also advocating for growth. And I think that balance is critical to so much that we do here. Tomorrow, Shiv celebrates 7 years at Robinhood. So while he's got his hands on nearly everything, he's currently SVP of Finance and Strategy and also our treasurer. So Shiv, welcome. Maybe you'll say a few words as well.
Yeah, thank you, Vlad. I'm so excited and humbled for the opportunity to serve our customers and shareholders. Much appreciation to you, the board, and the entire leadership team for the trust. To Jason, a heartfelt thank you. We joined 6 weeks apart, and we've been on quite the journey together. Many of
This
you know
guy
Jason's a
in the
fantastic
middle
CFO,
now
but he's
speaking
also
is a
incredible
U.S.
quality
actor,
person.
Adam Driver.
For today, I'll keep it short. I just wanted
No,
to
it's
thank
not,
you.
bro.
As Vlad
But
said,
that's
I've
a
been
good
here
joke,
little over
though.
7
Good
years,
one.
and I've seen the company scale from a couple
actually
million
had a good
customers
joke
and
for
few
once.
billion assets to now
That's crazy.
27 million customers and over 300.
TH had a good joke for once, Chad. Let's
Worked
clap it
closely
up
with
for him.
Vlad, Jason, and the entire team. I've gotten to wear a lot of different hats, and as Vlad said today, I lead 4 teams: finance, strategy, corp dev,
Marketing?
and treasury.
Oh,
In terms of what to expect, big picture, more of the same. Our top goal is still to grow and keep delivering for customers, to ship amazing products with high velocity. We also believe in a lean and disciplined culture, and this is personally where I spend a lot of time.
Why is this
We
bugging
obsess about
out?
capital allocation and ROI. We pride ourselves on small teams that can deliver outsized results, and we believe in profitable growth. And lastly, our financial North Star is going to remain the same: grow earnings per share and free cash flow per share, and compound long-term shareholder value. Plain and simple. So I'm excited to partner with everyone. I'll turn it back to Vlad and Jason and talk about this great quarter.
Thanks, Shiv, and I do look forward to seeing Shiv competing on Jeopardy someday. Chris, why don't we go ahead and take some questions?
What's the Jeopardy
All right,
joke? What the hell?
Thank you, Jason. For the Q&A session, we'll start by answering shareholder questions from Say Technologies, from shareholders who are joining us on video. And after the Say questions, we'll turn to
Almost
live
every
questions
word
from
was
audience
said today.
and then go to dial-in participants.
That's
So we'll
insane.
kick it off with our first question. from
Almost
Say,
every word was
which
said,
comes from
except for
Preston.
the one I have.
Hello, Vlad and Jason. Can you guys see me okay?
We can hear
We
you.
can hear you well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask a question here.
Oh, I
hope
see
you're
you
doing
now.
well.
There you
Bro,
are.
he has a
Yeah.
fucking
He's
Robin
got
Hood
hair.
Look at that. He's
paint.
got the Robin Hood logo. Did you
Yeah,
draw
I
that
painted
yourself?
I painted that in class a couple days ago.
Love
Oh,
So, yeah.
awesome.
But I was wondering, how quickly do you expect to roll out Robinhood
Is bro in
banking
high
to
school?
users?
Yeah, great question. This will be a relatively fast rollout. When you compare banking to the credit card, there's not the same
But he's in high
considerations
school.
around making sure the economics between the borrowing and the spending are perfectly calibrated. I think banking is a simpler product in that way. And so the rollout will just be governed by customer feedback. We like what we see thus far, and so we're going to continue to roll out. And we expect that if there's no surprises, it should be pretty quick. We've already got customers trying it, including cash delivery available in some markets, and early results are really good. So if you're in the state of New York and have access to banking, you can try it right now.
All right, thank you, Vlad. The next question is from Huiben.
Come on, give me a marketing question. Give me a marketing question. Come on.
All right, I'll read it. So Wibben's question was, there was a recent AWS
That's bugging out.
related outage. How are you strengthening platform resiliency to address that?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So for those of you that don't recall this, even though pretty much the entire internet
Hey, we
was,
made
was
$3
briefly
in reward
affected,
farmings
including my
today,
kids'
chat.
elementary
That's a
school. They
new
couldn't
thing
take
that we did
attendance.
never before in
AWS had
Polymarket.
an
Let's go.
outage, a few
Oh.
weeks back, and that led to degraded app performance for a significant number
Oh,
of our
marketing size
customers.
just got eliminated.
Now the good news is, it
Well, that's
actually
because the
demonstrates how much
orders
progress
got
we've made
pulled.
in the resilience of our systems over the
Orders
past
got
months.
pulled from
You know, if this
marketing.
had happened to us, like an outage of the infrastructure,
So not
provider of
necessarily
this
doesn't mean
magnitude
that they
had
said
happened a
it.
few
It
years
just
ago,
means that there's
we
no
probably would have
sellers.
been fully down. But we made a lot of investments in that time period. And so even though things were slower and there were higher latencies, a lot of customers could, manage their risk and place orders, although we didn't provide them with the type of experience that we would want, that's for sure. And one thing that you can be assured of is every
Let me just try and sell my
opportunity,
marketing for
every
60,
outage like
see if
this,
someone will come and
even
buy
if
it.
it's a third party related, is an opportunity for us
I'm
to
gonna
further
try and
strengthen
sell
our
my
resilience.
marketing at
So
60.
we've been hard at work
Get rid of
looking at
that,
how we
and
can
then we'll hold
become
on
even
to
better, and that's internally
no
and
shutdown
also in
at 64.
conversations with all of our partners. So this is part and parcel
Marketing
of what we
odds
have
dropped to
do.
30
We wanna
cents
be our
now.
customers'
That's
not just
probably
primary
because
financial
like
account,
the
but we wanna be
orders
their
got
secondary
pulled,
financial
so
account as
it
well,
doesn't
which means
mean that
we have
the
to continue
the
to
odds dropped.
to
It's
be
just the
robust.
orders got pulled. That's all.
All right, thank you, Vlad.
But if he
Let's
says
take
it
one more
now,
question from Say on video and see if we can go 2 for 3 here. So the next question is from Griffin.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello, doing great. Hey Vlad, Jason, and Shiv. Thanks so much for taking the question and really great quarter. First of all, but I wanted to ask around the super app nature and kind of the evolution of Robinhood. So obviously, it was started to democratize investing for everyone. And now, as you evolve into the full financial kind of ecosystem and also the true super app for the next generation, how do you see this ecosystem maturing? So, what products do you think will kind of be the core tie around all of this? And also, how do you see the biggest opportunities for this next generation as everyone's finances get more complex? Thanks.
These
Yeah,
get
I think
kids
that's a
during the
great
conference
question.
calls.
I mean,
You're telling me I
seeing
can
that
call in and
part of
ask
this
these
vision
questions?
is
I guess I gotta
somewhat
be a
predictable in
shareholder,
a
right?
sense. We have to look
And then I
at,
can bait them into
how does
asking a
money enter our
marketing question.
ecosystem. And of course,
What?
we have all of the existing mechanisms, but Robinhood Banking, the goal with Robinhood Banking is to be the place where our customers deposit their paychecks as well. So that will handle the inflow of money. And a lot of the assets over time we do believe will be invested, but the question is, can we minimize the reasons customers have for ever withdrawing money and make it as easy as possible for people to get money in? And over time, there will be new products, new product categories like prediction markets that arise. And we want to use our combination of best-in-class user experience
Please say
and
marketing.
also
I'm
economics
begging you.
to make sure we're a big player in everything that
You've said it
customers
so
wanna
many
do
times
with their money,
before.
not just in the U.S. but increasingly
6
globally.
times in this
So it's gonna be
conference
a
call.
combination of getting broader, but also
Twice
selectively,
here.
going deeper in areas
Once
where we
here.
feel like we have competitive advantage.
None on that
All
one.
right. Thank you, Vlad. That concludes our shareholder questions from Say Technologies. And so now we'll move to
Oh,
Q&A
that was
our
just
live
from
audience. Our
one
first question is,
technology
gonna be
company.
from
That's
Patrick
it.
Moley at Piper Sandler.
Yes, thank you for taking the question. For my question, I want to say congratulations to both Jason and Shiv. Jason, really enjoyed working with you. Shiv, looking forward to getting to know you a little better. So I had one on prediction markets. You've obviously become one of the leaders in the space, but there's been a lot of new entrants recently. So I was hoping you could talk about
What?
just the strategy there and what you think gives you the right.
Robinhood is not the leader in this space.
Second part to that, can you talk through?
I guess, do they own Kalshi? Is Robinhood partnered with Kalshi?
Your position today is kind of a retail distribution for the venues versus maybe trying to.
If so, then that makes sense. Yes, okay, so Robinhood is indeed partnered with Kalshi.
Yeah. So I think one of the advantages we have entering any market, prediction markets aren't an exception, is that we have.
Okay, so Robinhood is
distribution,
partnered
and we
with
have
Kalshi.
lots of customers, 26 million plus funded accounts in the U.S. that are trading and using us for all sorts of things. And from an infrastructure standpoint, we actually have an increasing set of tools that can plug in and are being built to be multi-asset. So not just our mobile app, but increasingly on web. We have Robinhood Legend. We have all of these things that
I think I'm gonna lose marketing, but I think I'm gonna win.
Ecosystem.
No shutdown. With the way things are going right now, I think that's how it's gonna play out.
All of our platforms and all of our assets and account types, increasingly so in the future. I think when we think about,
He's not well known in
vertical
Canada.
integration,
That comment
right?
killed me, bro. Good
Should we
joke,
be, a
TH.
market maker, or should we be an exchange in?
All right,
any
chat. I
asset?
think I'm gonna lose
thing we
one,
look at
but I think I'm gonna
is,
win one. Hopefully, that's how it plays
vertical
out.
integration gonna be
We'll
something
see,
for
though.
us?
You know,
Is it gonna
he
be
could say shut down very
something that
easily, and then I get screwed over,
increasingly
and I lose.
commoditized over time?
And I lose, bro.
In my
Used to
theory
that
for
now,
how
though.
this is
Used to
gonna
that.
evolve
We're
in
gonna
prediction
probably
markets
go
and
back to
is
break even on our
there's gonna be a
account
lot of entrants in the
completely,
space,
which
a
would
lot of
be
exchanges in the
145
same way that
USD.
equities,
But
options, customers are well served
better
because
to go
there's
back to
a
break
lot of
even
venues that are
than
competing
to have
on
to
cost to offer
reload
prediction.
the account.
I think prediction markets
Right?
will
Better to go to
evolve
break
that
even than have to
and
reload the account,
I
and
think in that
then
world,
I will
the
have
customer
to
certainly benefits
really
from
sit down and
different
think about
tools
where
and
do I
analytics
have an
to
edge
compete
in
for
poly
the
market.
lowest
What, you know, I've tried a lot in
And
poly
I
market
think
so far.
the power
I've done a good amount of
is
volume
in
in
our
poly market
distribution and
that now I
offering
should be able to, you
a
know,
wide
work on some automation, work on some niches, work on some setups that I can possibly replicate and execute. I mean, there's a guy who trades weather markets and has turned $50 into $10,000 twice so far, right? So find something that's repeatable, find something that's doable, and time to start getting done, baby. We need to get the account up. We need to get the account going. Because I really do think this market, this website is just handing out free money, ladies and gentlemen. It's really handing out free money, and gotta take advantage of it, right? Gotta take advantage of it. Besides that, lots of stocks moving over here. We actually went over a couple of them. I think the most important one for tomorrow, let me find the link. Where's that page? The most important one for tomorrow will be most likely the Robinhood or the quantum names. Those are, you know, always high priority. But you also have the chip names, which is pretty important, along with how AMD recently reported an AMD move. So chip names are pretty important. AMD, Qualcomm, ARM, SMCI. Quantum names, IonQ, D-Wave, Robinhood as a quantum, sorry, not quantum, as a crypto, and just the Robinhood itself. Palantir recently reported, that's a good name to keep an eye out for. Elf and Figma recent or tonight's earnings reports movers too. So those are good ones also. But besides that, I don't really have much to talk about today. And we're kind of just listening to this earnings call. And after this earnings call, I think I'm just going to wrap it up for the stream here and call it a day. Let me just move this really quick over here.
So we feel really good about the offering that we have.
Yeah, and I would just add one thing there. It's a big step towards pricing being a little bit more personalized, right? And what we had before, a lot of people asked us, well, your take rate is so much lower across the board. Can you raise your take rate? But I think the real story is a little bit more complex than that, because, you know, certainly if you're an active trader, you're trading huge volumes, you're able to use advanced offers.
Just having to reply to some messages here, chat. Give me a second.
To offer those customers who we might not have been super competitive for.
Also, I want to go play Arc Raiders. I want to go play Arc Raiders, okay?
And bringing a ton of volume, almost like prosumer traders, which we're seeing more of now that we've got Robinhood Legend. Can we make Robinhood a no-brainer for them? And we've seen
Alright.
more and more.
Yeah, I want to go play Arc Raiders.
And coming in here.
Not much to talk about. I think there's some IPOs tomorrow, so make sure you load up on those IPO information. Let me quickly go through some of those IPO names coming out. Don't think I have time to go over the IPOs right now, and also nothing too important. They're all pretty small size IPOs. So we went through one, Grupo Mexico, billion to one. That's an interesting name. Billion to one. Well, $1 billion to $1. Well, I can do that too, my friend. My trading is more than enough to do that. Haha.
Kind of welcome to the stage here, and Jason to you as well. And success to date, and you know the best practices you put in place really put the firm on strong footing. So congratulations.
Say fucking marketing.
Question on private markets. Demand and activity that we're tracking is recovering. Last week, Morgan Stanley announced the acquisition of EquityZen. I know there could be some barriers with accredited investors. Maybe that makes it a little
no marketing. At least no shutdown though.
Demand from your customer base, and especially as companies stay private longer, just and a lot of the value.
He also didn't talk about acquisition, surprisingly enough.
It would seem like Robinhood's in a great position to both be a trading hub and help create liquidity in the system, but then also maybe even primary capital for private markets. So the question is just whether there's an increasing interest in private markets, if there's a plan there to do more. I know it connects to tokenization as well, and also if M&A would make sense there as well. Thanks.
Mergers and acquisition.
Maybe I'll start, but Shiv's also been working on the Robinhood Ventures front, so maybe I'll ask him to say a few words as well. Look, I think private markets are a huge opportunity. And just
someone just bought the last few yeses.
US perhaps first, because that's where we have the largest portion of our business. Although international with tokenization provides some interesting opportunities as well. In the US, I think it's one of the biggest iniquities that we think is part of our mission to help resolve. You mentioned yourself, you have a lot of these companies that are staying private longer. They're avoiding the public markets. They're private in valuations of, hundreds of billions now, right? So
Wait, do the people who ask questions also count?
Innovation economy or, space technologies. You don't
I
have a
need
ton
to
of
go
pure
search
play
that
companies to select
first.
from. So
How does that work?
So we think it's a bigger problem, particularly
Any usage instances where if the market requires a Q&A event will count if the event is defined canceled. Okay, so never mind. Q&A event will count towards the resolution of the market. The market is based on the earnings call. The market will resolve to yes. Any term is said during the event.
People were kind of skeptical about it, right? Like
Is mentioned by anyone during the event. Okay, so it doesn't matter who says it as long as anyone uses the word.
And,
so even if the Q&A guy said acquisition, then that's enough for people to buy the word acquisition. But he didn't say the word acquisitions, did he? He said merger.
How do we engage retail better?
He said M&A actually.
Not just shareholder Q&A, but doing, making earnings more compelling so that retail wants to actually watch and participate and learn as well. And we've noticed the allocations to retail going up in public.
He did say, yeah, there you go.
IPOs, which we've been very happy about.
Acquisition.
I think that's a trend that's going to continue. And we want to
so that's why people came in and bought up
I think that's
the
really
99. Someone's actually selling 99 right now.
Found a way to do it, we believe, unaccredited.
I can buy
and
50 shares to make 50 cents. So I'm basically risking $49 to make 50 cents.
In terms of the demand, when we talk to customers, it's one of the top things they want. They want access to these best-in-class.
Please say marketing, dude. You guys said every single word besides marketing.
Second, not to be accredited. 85% of Americans aren't accredited today, so they get left out. And third, more concentrated portfolios. They want access, again, the names they love. And so when we designed the product, that was our main use case. How do we do that? And we think we found a great way to do that. We're on a file with the SEC for Robinhood Ventures 1. We're in the quiet period, so we can't say too much more there. But we think this vehicle will be great and expect pretty strong customer demand. And then the other thing we're working on is how do you make it great for companies? Because you need both the customers, but also the companies.
Oh shit! I forgot to go live on Twitter.
Customers and companies as well. And have
I forgot to go live on Twitter.
We're excited to hear more about the fund in the coming months. But as Vlad said, this is just fund one and just the start. Our ambitions in the space are pretty large.
All right. The next question is going to come from Jeff John Roberts from Fortune.
Hi guys, my question is about tokenized equities, which seem to be the future and they seem very cool. But I'm curious, when do you think they're going to scale, Vlad? And also what implications they might have for Robinhood's revenue when it comes to payment for order flow or otherwise? Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you, by the way. I forgot to mention we have some folks from the media joining us today too. So thanks for the question. So tokenized equities, as you might remember from the event in France, there's 3 phases to the rollout, and we're still in phase 1, but we're really ramping up the number of tokens available on the platform. So we're now up over 400 available. And I think that makes us the largest in terms of selection. I think the largest, maybe one of the largest at the very least. But I think where it really starts to get interesting is phase 2.
I think we lost the marketing one for sure.
Them available for secondary trading on Bitstamp, and then eventually them being on DeFi, where the possibilities really start to multiply. You start thinking about self-custody, collateralized lending and borrowing, which we think could be very, very disruptive as well. Currently, the model is just foreign exchange in the EU. Yeah, we take a relatively low, simple foreign exchange fee for tokens, and actually, we're pretty happy with that. I think that's 10 basis points, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually slightly higher than what we would be foregoing with payment for order flow.
Yeah, I don't think we're winning this.
All right, the next question in the front row.
Thanks for taking the question. Vlad, this is for you. Anyone who's had the pleasure of being an investor or customer over the last many years.
Also, I didn't know you could use your phone camera as a goddamn webcam. I gotta learn to do that because this webcam
I'm
sucks.
curious to understand from you guys, what have been the contributing factors there? How do you see that maintaining or increasing over the coming years. But really incredible job, and it's so fun to be a customer.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that. I think that we've grown as a company, and I think it's easy to sort of like dismiss what happened during COVID as, we were sort of like too bloated and got too big and got away from us. But I think a lot of what we did.
Can you
actually
fucking
was
say
we built the
marketing?
foundation
Please.
for the company subsequent to that.
Come on, Vlad.
We brought great people into the company.
What the
and
fuck?
I think we realized, that, we had to ask ourselves serious questions about what kind of culture we wanted, what we wanted to be. Did we want
All those noises you're hearing are me searching for words that they're saying, and hopefully searching for the words that I need.
Structurally and
Come on.
a people standpoint to the product velocity that you see now. So I think we obviously had to
Oh
make some
shit, I
tough
need to make
decisions
sure I don't
getting
go get
fit.
filled on these orders over
I think
here
we've
too.
also, I think this is sort of
This is another headache.
and
This
a lot of
this
people don't like to
rewards
talk about
farming
this,
that
but we're
I'm
pretty early
doing.
to adopt
That
AI and
contest
actually
starts
adopt
very
that
soon, so I gotta make sure I don't get filled on those
particularly in
orders
areas where we
when that contest is going on, because I could get completely
customer
ruined on
service
that one.
and engineering, where we actually, I believe, are best in class in our industry.
But
So
chat,
you'll hear
I
more
think
about
this
that
is
at the
pretty
AI
much
event,
all she
but
wrote.
I think
I don't
that,
think I have anything else to
there-
talk about.
there's not a
I
lot
think I can basically
said
go
about that because we're
offline
not a
and
foundation
finish
model
trading this
company,
off stream.
but I think we're right up there
And
leading the financial
we come
services
back next
industry
week,
with
because
how we're
tomorrow,
building
once
at
again,
scale.
I'm going to be busy most
Two things that
likely.
I'd add,
80%
which
sure
I
I'm going to be
think both
busy
relate to
tomorrow.
speed of decision making.
So I'll see you
We
guys
made the change
Monday.
to,
Have a
a
great
general
weekend.
manager model.
Have a
And I
great
think
time on the
having leaders
market. Go
over
make
their
some money
specific
out
business
there.
owning
Make sure you
roles
explore
and driving
Polymarket a
some
little bit.
milestones
At
helped
least,
us
you
move
know,
faster.
an hour a
The
day
second piece
while you're
was
trading
alignment
doesn't
on what
hurt.
our
An
financial,
hour a day,
tenets
check out
were around
Polymarket,
kind
and
of
you
what
will
the
thank me
ROI
for that.
and other
Okay?
financial,
I'll see you guys Monday.
guardrails are, and just getting
Take
complete
care.
alignment across
Peace,
the
peace,
teams that
peace.
build
Thank you
and-
for the
and
like.
teams
Thank you
that
for the
support
follow.
on
Check
what
out the
those
links in the
hurdles are and what those
description and all
requirements are,
that jazz.
allowed us to move
Peace,
even
chat.
faster once there was alignment on
Love you
that.
guys.
So those are two aspects that I think help us move faster.